Welcome back, Shalligators. Welcome to Evil Week. It's our favorite week of the year, a year when we get to unfurl our most wicked capabilities, cast off this ridiculous husk of empathy and kindness, just kindness, that society foists upon us, and really tap into the other side of who we are, the side that might not be quite so polite at parties, but the side that gets things done, the side that acts, well, the side that gets to act like men do all the time. In case you're new here, or in case you're not new and you just hate me, it's important to remember that Evil Week is not ironically named. I'm going to tell you how to do things that are, well, pretty sinister, wicked, amoral. You know why? Because I am all of those things. So this week, here on YouTube, Evil Week, for the first time in a few years, is going to be completely on Evil Week and completely free at your disposal. So if you're unfamiliar with how Evil Week works, we do 7 videos in 7 days on each of the 7 deadly sins and what we can learn. So this year on Evil Week, we're going to be tackling topics like this one, how to sleep your way to the top, things like how to outlast an enemy and be good under pressure and confrontation, what to do if you've been canceled, because I can tell you, and how to turn people against someone you hate without looking like it came from you. Oh, I'm so excited. But today, we're going to kick things off with a topic I think we should all know. How to sleep our way to the top. Ooh, how can we do this? Should we be fucking smarter and not harder? Should we be working the system the way some women do? I mean, what would we be capable of, and where could our career go if we, again, cast off this ridiculous shell of morality and see how that might be holding us back? So we did a little baby Evil Week in the middle of the summer, and one video I did that you guys can check out here on YouTube is how to be more of a sociopath. Why guilt only helps other people. It never helps us. How we can dial down that guilt. How we can do things like be a slut and do whatever we want, be immoral, and how we can divorce ourselves from, again, this societal pressure to always be so good and choose kindness and live a good life. Now, let's get started. Sleeping our way to the top, right? Aren't we taught not to do that? Oh no, use your brain, don't use your body. You know who did that? I did. I used my brain instead of my body. And boy, what an idiot. Truly, what an idiot. Now, usually, almost always, if I do a video giving you guys some advice, it's because I have been through this situation myself. Certainly in Evil Week. All the things I've talked about in Evil Week, from how to break up a happy couple to how to be a slut in a small town without getting a bad reputation. Honey, I know from experience. This one? I never slept my way to the top. I didn't even sleep my way to the middle. Throughout my entire career, and if you're new here and you don't know my career, I have lived the last over a decade in New York City. I recently relocated to Montana, but before that, I've been living in New York City, where I was a 2-time published author by the time I was 27. I had an MTV reality show based around my life. Haters, have you guys done that? No? Oh, I'm so sorry. I was also the editor-in-chief of a magazine, Star Magazine, and was editors at Glamour, FHM, Maxim, the New York Daily News, all sorts of places. So I've lived a pretty good life. My career really does speak for itself. And god damn it, I didn't fuck anyone to get there. And I say this is not a pat on my back. I am ashamed of myself because I always kept sort of church and state separate as it was. And I've said this before about like dating coworkers and why this can be catastrophic to your career. And we did a video about Jim and Pam from The Office and how I think they're just like the most grating, non-goals couple I can possibly think of. First of all, do you want to date a coworker? Then you come home, you go out to Applebee's with them, and it's like, you again. I saw your ass all day by the copy machine, and here you are. What do you even talk about besides work? It just, the whole thing never appealed to me. And I was so protective over my career and everything I'd achieved that I knew that to just be like, willy-nilly with flirting with people at work or sleeping with someone, it could really, really undermine my career trajectory. it didn't hurt that in magazines and publishings it's mostly gays and girls, so the pickings were slim. But that's the thing. When the pickings are slim, you tend to fixate on the most mateable person in a population. This is actually a psychological fact. This is part of evolutionary biology. We as women are hardwired to have a crush on and fixate on the most mateable person in any population, man in any population. It's a survival instinct. Back in the day when we needed someone to kill the wildebeest and build the fires and protect us, we needed a man. So if you were in like the Great Hall with like Bartholomew and King Arthur, you're looking around like, who's the best out of here? It's an evolutionary thing. It's a sperm thing. You know, you want to take the best genetic mix if you're potentially going to have offspring. This is why we get something I call camp hot, like summer camp. You go away to summer camp and like David Goldstein, who's just like an absolute fucking goober out in the real world, a hard 4, is suddenly like the king of Camp Anawana, right? Because he might just be the most mateable of that population. But you get out of that environment and you're like, whoa. And certainly this happens at work. We're around someone all day. They simply have a geographical monopoly on us. We have things that we talk about. They can identify with our stresses and our struggles. But like I said, it's bad to date a coworker. Shallon, what are you talking about? This is Eva week. The whole point of this video is how to sleep your way to the top. Exactly. And a coworker, meaning same level, that dick won't get you anywhere, baby girl. You can ride that man all the way to mediocrity, and that's as far as you're going to get. Where did Jim get Pam? Nowhere. Had she saved it for, like, who was the character James Spader played? That weirdo. That's the guy you fuck in The Office. Okay. But like I said, I didn't do this. I only dated a coworker once, but after he quit. And because that was my rule. Like, if you still work here, absolutely not. Because the sad truth is, if there's only 2 ways that a office place romance is going to go. Either you're going to get married, which again, like, cool, you again, or you're going to break up. Who typically takes a breakup harder? Ladies, we got to know our strengths, but also our weaknesses. We kind of do, right? There is nothing more fun than having a work crush. You're like, ooh, I'm putting on my fancy blouse from Kohl's. I'm getting them out there in my sensible pantsuit, right? It's so fun. But conversely, there is nothing worse than a breakup at work, because now your personal life and your private life have dovetailed into one absolute 10-hour hellscape, right? You can't just maybe look good at work. You have to look really good at work because you're seeing your ex all the time. And we only have so much attention and we only have so much energy. And if you are siphoning off energy to dealing with an ex while you're at work, you know what you're not putting energy towards? The actual work. I don't care if you work at Panera or Condé Nast, or Bloomberg, or the White House. You need to have your eyes on the bag, okay? And if you're worried about Jim from fucking accounting, seeing how you look, and dealing with him and stressing out in the break room, you're not funneling energy to your career, to your goals. And bitch, financial freedom is the only freedom. It is the only freedom. Think about that. If you're poor, if you're drowning in debt, student loans, living with your mom, how free do you feel? You're not. I mean, we know this. And we've done videos on financial acumen and why this is so important. And I knew this like more intensely and distinctly than I knew anything when I was younger and when I was starting out in my career. Financial freedom is the only freedom. I didn't grow up financially free. My family had money, but it wasn't like liquid. We had a lot of real estate holdings and we still do. But we kind of like lived like we were poor. There was this like rhetoric that like, we're so poor. And I got older. I'm like, what? You liars. But I was on an allowance. I was working at Ben & Jerry's over summers in high school to make my own money. Things were not handed to me. My education was, my wonderful home life was. But I wasn't just like, I'm spending on dad's credit card. Absolutely fucking not. No. And I wanted out from under that more than I wanted anything. More than I wanted anything. And that was my goal. And because of that, I would look at any dude in the office and be like, I like you. I bet you have a big dick. I'm not messing this up. I've come too far. I moved from California to New York. I'm dealing with these winters, and I saw a rat on the subway eating a rotisserie chicken carcass. And I am not squandering this for you, which is crazy because I am so into boys. Like, I'm so obsessed with guys. I always say I came out of the womb looking for a boy. Like, I love boys. I always have been. But there was some sort of stopgap in my mind that was like, not here. Why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? Because I'm proud of myself that I never wasted my time or attention or energy on my coworkers beyond just like, oh, he's cute. You know, I'm putting a little lip gloss. But I knew that's as far as it was going to go. Okay. I'm proud of myself that I did that. But what I should have done is fuck smarter, not harder. I didn't sleep my way to anywhere. Very annoying. But a lot of my friends did. They did. One of them's doing it right now. And I have been paying very close attention to this my entire career. 10, 15 years, right? I've been watching these scenarios unfold. And I've been taking my own little mental notes. Because what is our motto around here? A wise man does not learn from his own mistakes. Only a fool does. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So this video is about the mistakes of others and the successes and triumphs of other girls who I've watched sleep their way to the top. Or at the very least, the upper middle. Or they have slept their way into some sort of benefit that they on their own either couldn't produce or would have taken a decade to get there, right? Maybe that's job security. Maybe it's opportunity. Maybe it's a voice in a boardroom where nobody else was going to listen to them. But oh my God, wait, Dylan did because she's sucking his dick. Huh. We can say how little integrity those women have. Really? What is work? Strategy. What is strategy? War. Would you ever look at an army who has a navy, tanks, and artillery? They have these three things, right? And used all three of those things. Would you ever look at that army and be like, lack of integrity for using those tanks? They should only be using the artillery and the navy. No. You look at any army in the world, and of course you think, use everything at your disposal. That's the point. That's how you win. Do we do that? Are we doing that? We use our pussy, and we use, it's called nature's credit card. We could call it that. But not in a judicious way. Yeah, we've got the artillery and the tanks and the navy, but we're just like shooting the artillery off in the middle of fucking nowhere, wasting all our ammo. We're driving the tanks off a cliff. Bye, Panzer. Are we fucking smarter or harder? Like I said, during our Summertime Baby Evil Week, we talked about how to become less moral. I highly encourage you to go watch that as a primer for this video or all of Evil Week, because if you are constantly in the state of cognitive dissonance, well, I want to do this, but I can't. I'm such a bad girl. Bitch, you're not going to get anywhere. This video is going to be, it's just going to wash over you, go in one ear and out the other, okay? I am not a particularly moral person. I never have been. But I have realized that I must operate within the confines of society and my own personal code of ethics and morality that very often aligns with society, but very often does not. So I am in a constant state of tempering my own wants and needs and what I'm pulled towards in my evil little way, and the fallout societally and functionally from doing those things, right? It's a risk-reward benefit. I say this because if you're moving ahead with this directive, how to sleep my way to the top, but constantly thinking, this is so bad. No, I shouldn't be doing this. You're going to fuck yourself, okay? You are absolutely going to fuck yourself. You got to go in there, guns a-blazing. Navy, cavalry, artillery, bitch. What weapons are at your disposal? So now that we've dispatched with that pesky issue of ethics, how do you know? How do you sleep your way to the top? Like any battle, like any war, it hinges not even on weaponry, not on aggressiveness, but on reconnaissance, information, waiting, watching, logging data points, drawing conclusions, and having a very Clear plan before you go into action. Battles very rarely just happen. And when they do, they're called fucking ambushes, and they're awful. That's what every army is trying to avoid, is an ambush. They're not ready. What does this army have that we're going up against? It's terrible. You want as much data and information as you can. Forewarned is forearmed. Why am I saying this? Because the worst possible scenario is that you fuck someone and they actually can't get you anywhere. Because now what you've done is blown your reputation, right? You maybe have like 1 or 2 mistakes that you can make, aka useless dudes you can fuck, Jim from The Office, Jim Halperts. But that's it. You go beyond 1 or 2, and depending on your industry or how big or small your office is, it might not even be that many. So you might need to like quit and start over again. I mean, seriously, if this is a war, strategic retreat is often your best bet. But let's say that you haven't. Let's say that you're like, I'm getting ready for this. Okay. You want to observe. There's some things you want to observe. It's very tempting to think that the guys who are hitting on you at work are in fact the ones who could advance your career. That is almost never true. Wait a minute, Shallon. The guy hitting on me wants me, and therefore he's going to do whatever I say. Not always. I go back to Stevie Nicks, our white witch, our Lord and Savior. Players only love you when they're playing. A guy who comes on super strong, do you know why he comes on strong? Because he doesn't give a fuck if he loses you. He has no stake in this game. No, it means he likes me. Sometimes it means he's just spitting game. Maybe he's got a girlfriend. Maybe he's got a wife. And it's like, oh, you reject me. I don't really care. Oh, but you might suck my dick at the Christmas party. All right, I'm just going to keep spitting game. Livens up my afternoon. I don't care. I'm going to get what I want from her. Be done. Part of reconnaissance is understanding someone else's reputation. Do your research on these people. Who are they? Why are they coming at you so hard? Are they coming at you in a legitimate right way? If a guy who's your coworker wants to date you in a legitimate Jim and Pam way, he's going to ask you out in a legitimate Jim and Pam way, right? He's not just going to try to like finger fuck you at the copy machine. He's not going to do it. Quality people approach in a quality way. So that person might be a viable romantic partner, but that's not what we're after. Love? I can't think of anything more useless. Love? Oh, but he loves me. My dog loves me, okay? I'm about fucking smart, not hard. So get out of the way with your feelings. That's not what we're here for. This is evil week. Get the memo. So you want to look at the people coming after you. Very rarely can the people actually giving you this big hard sell, the flirtation, the sexual harassment, which, you know, is kind of fun, like whatever. Can they actually do something for you? Or if maybe they can, but they're not going to. They don't care. You need to target the right people. Do not wait to be targeted yourself. Because then your ego's going to get involved. Maybe your desperation, you're brokenhearted from some other breakup. You're like, but he likes me, and we just like understand each other. What is this? War and strategy? How helpful is it to be emotional during war? Not at all. You want to be dispassionate. You're the man in the high castle. That's what you are. I'm not good at very many things. That's a lie. I'm so good at so many things. Blowjobs especially. Isn't it funny how I can just say that and you guys are like, prove it. And I'm like, I can't. I'm just going to keep saying it. Anyway. I am good at dispassionate judgment. I am. I can pull back and I can look at why we think someone is beautiful or famous. I can dismantle these things. I can dismantle morality. And this is what I'm trying to do for you. You need to infuse yourself with a little bit of this dispassion, right? Pull back and analyze who can get you where. But before you can analyze that, you gotta decide where the where is. Where are you trying to go? What is it you're after? Well, I want to advance. What does that mean, though? What does that mean? It depends on your industry. When I worked at Star Magazine, I went through and survived 15 rounds of layoffs in 7 years. 15. Like clockwork. Twice a year, the hatchet man, trick bitch Daniel Rothstein, hate this fucker, would come in and fire half the staff for like no reason, right? And so for me, advancement equated to simply survival, right? And so I tried to make myself the gray man. And I survived a lot of these rounds of layoffs because I wasn't even a full-time employee. I was still a freelancer for so long. So like I wasn't even on their spreadsheet of who was like making too much money. Even though I was making more than almost anyone, I was like not a full-time employee. So they kind of didn't see me. It was crazy. My point is, you have to define advancement. And this could change. This could change office to office, career to career, job to job. Like the dynamics are so different. And as you advance in your career, you need to redefine this. So for a while it was survival. And then I defined advancement in my career as like moving up the ladder, right? I wanted title change, bigger office, more power, less oversight, all of these things. But I was always very clear to define this. And while I never slept with anyone, I made strategic friendships, right? If you are not doing that at work, what the fuck are you doing while you're there? What are you fucking doing? I'm doing my job. Okay, free up a little more emotional bandwidth and be smart. Because you know who's smart at work? Men. Men are doing this. And that's why they get to run the world. That's why they get to run the world. Because no one is telling Tyler and Casey and Dylan, choose kindness. They're telling it to us. And fuck you guys, we're believing it? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Where's that gotten any of us? Kindness. I have plenty of kindness. For my dog, for Iraq war veterans, for single moms, for my friends. Work? No. That's not where I put my kindness. Yeah, I make friends at work. But make no mistake, it comes down to them or me, it's me. So I want you to define advancement. And then I want you to look at the people you might have previously overlooked, the men you might have overlooked. People with true power, you know what they are? They're quiet. Because why? Confidence is quiet, isn't it? The loudest person in the room, the flirtiest person in the room, that guy trying to finger blast you with the copy machine, the loudest person in the room is always the weakest. People with true power, with true clout, with true ability, they don't need to say it. It speaks for itself. So the people you might be overlooking in terms of sleeping your way to the top might be exactly who you need to target. And again, we say this as you need to target them. You are not going to wait for the loudest guy in the room, the flirtiest dude, the handsiest guy at the Christmas party to come and get you. He is not going to do anything for you. Probably because he has no real power, right? He's too busy flirting and spitting game to truly advance throughout a company. It's the quiet guys. Look at who runs industry now. Zuckerberg, Bezos, Gates. Are those the flashy dudes? Is that the life of the party? No, those are the quiet storms. And smart women know to go after exactly those men. So how do you do this? Well, we did a video last year for Eva Week based on lessons from Cleopatra of how to seduce anyone. The TLDR there is you must present yourself as somewhat of a blank canvas. Shallon, I'm not a blank canvas. Great, have fun working at Cinnabon at the airport. Bye, see yourself out. The strategic women, we're listening. We're taking some notes here. What do you mean blank canvas? Seduction is about projection. Seduction is about finding someone's weak spot, their shadow self, either the self that they are afraid to project, society won't let them, they're trying to project and no one is listening, or they haven't even necessarily tapped into yet. But you know who's going to tap into that? You are. You're going to be the one listening. You're going to be the one selling them on the dream of you, but making them think they're selling you on the dream of them. Seduction is reversal. It really is. We have to make the other person think that they're the predator and we're the prey. But often it's the opposite. I am the prey because I have crafted a bait that is unattainable and so delicious you cannot miss it. So what you're going to do is you're going to listen. Reconnaissance. Who is this man's shadow self? What does he want to be seen as that maybe people kind of overlook, but you see it? I have a friend. She's a lawyer and she works at a big law firm and she is currently sleeping with one of the partners. And I'm like, he's married, not the best. But I love this look for her. I love this journey for her because she picked right. She's fucking smarter and not harder. This guy who she's targeted, David, we'll call him. I don't even remember his name, but sure, it sounds like a lawyer name, right? David, James. Let's go with James. James, it doesn't matter. He is smart, but people don't understand how smart he is. He's like 360 smart. He knows like Play-Doh. He knows about horses. He can fly a plane. People only focus on his law acumen because that's what makes money. So that's what he's getting accolades for. I've dated a lot of celebrities, a lot. And it's so funny. People are like, you lie about who you date. I'm like, sweetheart, my normal is your never. Okay? I'm strategic. I'm smart. I'm diverse. You're none of these things. So I get why the way I live and operate is so unbelievable to you. You think it's false. It might as well be a fiction to you because it's never going to happen. I say this. I digress. Because the way I have seduced, let's say an athlete, one of my Hurt Lockers, one of the loves of my life is a Stanley Cup winner. You know how I got him? I never talked to him about hockey. Never. I talked to him about his intellectual pursuits, a book he wanted to write, his jet skis, his lake house, his love for his little sister. I talked to him about things that no one else valued. They only valued the part of him that made money. I bypassed that completely. Rock stars, never talked to him about music. Actors, never talked to him about their movies. I went in the back doors, so to speak, not literally, and got into their psyche and tapped into their shadow selves simply by avoiding the thing that everyone else has been praising them for. And this is what my friend is doing with this lawyer dude, David James, we'll call him. She taps into these other sides of him. So he feels heard, understood, seen. No matter how successful you are, how famous, how rich, how powerful, there is always a part that feels unseen, unappreciated, right? And it is our job as a seductress to hone in on that and to press. That's what seduction is. It's attention. It's not quite getting what you want right away. Isn't that the definition of pleasure? So she's fucking smarter by holding on to this dude. He, in turn, is protecting her career. He has sort of encapsulated her in this bubble of protection that even when there's a new partner, when there's a shakeup, she is floating above that. And at her career point now, that is how she defines success and advancement. And she's not wrong. Like, she's outlasting the enemy, which is something we're going to talk about in our Wrath video about how to survive a confrontation and how to win a war, basically, because you know I love to talk about war. It's my favorite thing in the world. I feel so alive when I'm destroying someone. I really do. Anyway, if only I had been born a man, what a Caesar I would have made. So now that you've picked your target, now that you've honed in on a shadow self, you got to ride this till the wheels fall off. A huge mistake women make when they're trying to sleep their way to the top is they jump around. And it's unjudicious and it's slutty, right? Because when we look at people who hop from partner to partner, whether it's at an office or on Tinder or whatever, we think of these people as shallow fuck boys. Well, you can be a fuck girl too. So you're going to ruin your reputation. Even if you don't actually sleep with any of these people, people are going to identify you as a social climber and they're going to put no stock in you, right? No one's going to want to protect you because they think you're a user, and they're right. So this is why reconnaissance is so important. You need to target the right people and stick with it. Stick with it. It's going to take some time to develop this friendship, to develop the trust, to develop this. I just really am so afraid of getting laid off. I just don't know what to do. It takes a minute. War is strategy. Victory is patience. There is no victory for the impatient. There simply isn't. They get sloppy. They mess up. They act out of emotion. They're dead. The next thing you do now that you've targeted them, again, you've identified your version of advancement and you have to plant those seeds. I just get so stressed out thinking about the next round of layoffs. I don't know. Maybe I should just quit. Maybe I should just quit and move to Tampa or something. You say this because you want to hone in on their fear. She's going to leave. Suddenly, this person who sees me and knows me, she's going to be gone. I have to protect her. You do not outright say, can you get me in the corner office? Can you make sure I don't get laid off? Hey, can you take that project from Patricia and totally give it to me? No. What is seduction? It's reversal. It's telling this person, this was your idea. Wasn't my idea. No. Men are hardwired to produce, and they communicate to solve problems, whereas women communicate to build a relationship. So give him a problem to solve. So subtle. Communicate your fears. Oh no, I would never, baby, I would never ask you to go out on a limb for me. Your career is so important. You're so important. I can handle this myself. No, I can handle it myself. You must appear weak when actually you are strong. You must appear vulnerable when in fact you are operating under pure strategy. And that is going to let them think all of this was their idea. So this is what I want you to work on. But in war, we must identify and always have our head on a swivel for those ambushes. And in the form of fucking your way to the top, an ambush will come in the form of a bitchy ass coworker. One thing that I find fascinating is when these ladies in Florida, because it's always Florida or Kentucky, these high school teachers end up sleeping with their students. I just find these stories just so funny because they're so bad at this crime. They're so bad at it. They're she was Snapchatting me tit pics. I'm why are you sending nudes ever? You know my feeling on nudes. Don't send nudes. But don't send them to a teenage boy who's going to hold it up like Simba in the lunchroom. Are you maybe just fuck him in the police station since you want to get caught so bad. It's just crazy to me how sloppy people are as criminals. I'm girl, high schoolers, not hot. Go college. Go to be a professor and fuck all the college dudes. Great idea. They're legal. They got a lot more muscle tone. Their frontal lobe is closed and formed a little bit better. That's better. I say this because so much of the time, these women get caught because the boy has some female friend who's clearly in love with him who finds out about this and she's the tattletale. That's always what it is. Because I think it's so interesting. It's who actually blows their cover? Sometimes it's the mom finding the cell phone, but so much of the time it's the jealous friend who blows the cover. And I'm can't trust a hoe, right? Hell hath no fury, not like a woman scorned. An ugly woman ignored. Ooh, are they not the most dangerous, pissy creature on the face of planet Earth? Look at everyone who hates me. Fatties and uglies, as far as the eye can see. Sorry no one invites you to parties. Sorry guys don't want to have sex with you. Sorry I can't relate. But destroying me actually doesn't improve your life at all. But good luck. I say this because your mortal enemy will actually not be other men in the office. It won't. They might see you as not as respectable, but not always, right? We think that other people are operating on this plane of righteousness and morality. Honey, they're men. They're operating pelvis first, right? Just wiener out. That's the priority of thinking with their ween. And so they're oh, wait, she's fucking David James from Who's the Partner? Maybe I got a shot with her. Hey, this could trickle down that you're not going to get assigned any good projects. You're going to be displaced in meetings. So you got to keep all this very much under wraps, okay? But your actual threat to your advancement is not men. It's women. It's jealous, dumpy women. And you need to know who that is. Part of your reconnaissance, perhaps even greater than figuring out which man to target, is figuring out which woman to keep this from. Now you got a few options here, right? You can pick, let's call her Brenda, right? Every office has a Brenda. You can You can kill Brenda with kindness. You can ingratiate yourself to her, right? Keep your enemies close. And you can try to become friends with her so that this is going to enable you to gaslight her if things get out. Like, Brenda, I'm not sleeping with David James. My God. Do you honestly think that about me? That's really hurtful. You know, like, I feel like we have had some really good conversations, and the fact that you would just believe that, like, I'm just looking at you in a different type of way right now. Excellent gaslighting. Write that down. You could try that tactic. I actually don't like to keep my enemies close. I like to keep them far away. And I know there's a lot to be said for that's not a great strategy. As Robert Greene said, do I not destroy my enemies when I make them friends? I guess. It's just never been my strong suit. I prefer to just outright destroy people. You know, I mean, there's a time for this strategy, but it's not my strong suit. Anyway, I prefer to keep people at an arm's length. And if they're my enemy, and if I know that truly deep down they're going to betray me because of their own insecurities, I'm not going to get them close enough to me so that they learn my weak spots. I'm a blabbermouth. I'm a lover. I don't like to be a fighter. I like to bond with people, and I will be like I will spill the beans. So and I know that about myself. So I will try to keep people at an arm's length, right? So I think a better strategy with a Brenda is to make her afraid of you. It's to make her afraid of you. She's already afraid of you. Lean in. Give her a reason to be afraid. An easy way to do this is to not be very jovial. I dismantled an enemy when I worked at Star. She just ran the place like she was like the head bitch in charge. I came in there. I was like, you're not the head bitch in charge. You're a designer. I'm an editor. Like, I outrank you no matter how you slice this. Like, this was your world. Now it's mine. And I dismantled her by not like making small talk. I didn't laugh at her like passive aggressive jokes. I really perfected the art of the bitch face, resting or unresting. I was just like, I said I needed it by noon. Thanks. I was an out and out bitch. I was polite. I was communicative. I wasn't hostile or aggressive or insulting ever, but I didn't bounce the ball back. When she said something that was insulting, I wasn't like, yeah, no, I know, I spelled it wrong. I was like, I'm an editor. I'll take care of it. Thank you so much for pointing it out. I just had a lack of joviality for her. And she backed down. It was a pissing contest and I won. This is the law of the jungle. Like, who's the bigger dog in the yard? And I proved, and it was hard. It was hard and it was scary. And I was like, oh, because you get nervous and you like want to joke along, and I didn't. Try this with a Brenda. Let them know that they can be sneaky or whatever. You are not an easy target. You're not going to fold easy. You're not going to play along. You're going to call them out. You're not going to roll over in a meeting and let them take credit for a project. No. Sorry. They will be afraid of you because, like I said, they're already afraid. Give her a reason. Let her know that this fear she has of you because you're beautiful and smart and talented and strategic is absolutely well-founded. You think you're afraid of me just for that? Oh no. This is about to get worse, Brenda. I'm going to destroy you. And I'm going to destroy you through my own fortitude, through my own staying the course of my strategic, seductive plan, and because I'm not frightened of you. I don't need to shuck and jive and make you like me. I could give a shit. You know who I'm working on making like me? David James, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates. I've got my eyes on the prize. But you have to be forewarned and forearmed about these people because they will try to turn the rest of the office against you, right? Did you see her going into his office late at night? What were they doing? So you must ingratiate yourself to everyone else. Ugh, I know. This is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. But look, fucking your way to the top is supposed to be a lot of work. If it wasn't, everyone would be doing it and it would mean nothing. And if everyone is doing it, the person you're targeting, again, like, isn't a sugar daddy, he's a splendid daddy. He's not going to give you what you want. So work on being beyond reproach to everyone else in the office so that they will do your dirty work for you and defend you. You don't even have to get involved. This is a cat's paw. So what if Shallon was in his office? They've been working on a project. Brenda, you sound like really paranoid. People will gaslight her and believe it with plausible deniability because you have behaved so impeccably and angelically to them, they don't believe it's even possible that you would do something like that. Now, crucially, you have to reinforce this idea that, of course, you're not fucking the boss or whoever it is by talking a small degree of shit about the boss. Not in a bad way, but in a way, in a disagreeing way. I know that David James made that new rule about paralegals not being invited to the clerk office. What am I even saying? But I don't think that that's smart. I mean, I think we have some really genius paralegals. If you're always on his side, if you're always cheerleader for this dude, honey, everyone's going to see right through you. But if you take a contrary stance here and there, you're going to throw a wrench into this assumption that you're fucking him. Well, I mean, she really stood up for us in that meeting and he looked pissed. You can do that cleanup with him behind the scenes. Babe, I know, but I had to stand up for myself and my integrity. A man with true power is going to respect that. A man with true clout is going to see you now as an equal. She's not just here to blow me and get a promotion. She respects me. She might not always agree, but she respects me. Interesting. So to recap, stay away from coworkers, anyone on your level, even 1 or 2 levels above you. You want to fuck your way to the top, you go to the top. It is a misnomer to think that you're going to have to kind of leapfrog. Well, I got to bone the guy on my level and then his boss and then his boss. Towns are small, offices are small, even in New York City, small industries. Your reputation is going to get around and people will know, men with power will know what you're doing and not believe you. So that even if you get to that top, you've leapfrogged over all these nobodies, the big boss is going to be like, I've been dealing with women like you all my life. I don't fucking think so. Pretend like you have a gun with 1 bullet. Where are you going to aim it? Be smart. It's all you've got. You're going to ingratiate yourself with this man by honing in on his shadow self. And simultaneously, you are going to look for threats in the office of women, ugly, dumpy women. Very rarely is it going to be another hot chick. I mean, it might be because she might be jealous she didn't get to him first. I've actually never found competition within other hot chicks. I haven't. It's always the dumpies. Because other hot chicks, I remember a girl at my office was fucking one of the bosses. And she was beautiful. And this other beautiful girl who worked with us, I was like, oh my God, did you hear? She's boning so-and-so. And she's like, you know what, man? I can't even be mad. I wish I'd thought of it first. I'm like, exactly. That's how I felt. I'm like, I wish I'd beaten her to the finish line, but I didn't. Oh, what an idiot. Now I'm just working all day like a slave. Great idea. So look out for the uglies and the dumpies. They are truly not on your side, even if they act like you're their friend or whatever. It goes back to, it's a kill the cheerleader syndrome, which we talk about with nerds, male nerds who grow up and get power or clout. They're going to neg the hot chick out of revenge for basically being in middle school. Revenge for the cheerleader who didn't like them in high school. Women do it too. They want to be your friend. They want to be on your level, but deep down, they know they're never going to be. And so they're going to have to destroy you so that you no longer exist to contrast their own failures. Beware. And you neutralize these people by ingratiating yourself with everyone else in their orbit so that it is a mass gaslighting if and when they catch on to your machinations. Let people do the dirty work for you. Remember, if you're going to be evil, do it smarter, not harder. We're going to be back tomorrow with more Evil Week Shalligators. Go ahead and join me. I can't wait to see you. Find me on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts for daily rants. And like I said, if you want to connect with me one-on-one, you have a little evil that you need some advice on, head to my website, shallonlester.com. I'll see you soon.